Well, I think everyone likes to believe in the journey of the team and the journey of the athletes. Sports is about challenging yourself and overcoming adversity. It's very rare that you go undefeated in a season. It's very difficult to go undefeated in life. We all face difficult moments, and we need to figure out how to overcome those. Whenever you lose something in life, it brings a lot more perspective to when things do go right. You can't control the outcome of everything. All you can do is put your very best into it. And if you put your best into it, you should be rewarded with that sense of accomplishment that you've had regardless of whether you win or lose. You can look at yourself and say, poor me, woe is me, how difficult this is for me, when do I get my chance? Or you can go out there and make your chance. Everybody wants people to succeed. If you have a dream of playing, I would never discourage anyone from dreaming as big as they possibly can. I was a long shot too. There's a lot of kids here that are long shots. We're all long shots. It's hard to be birthed, for God's sakes. You gotta beat out a lot of things to get here. So you made it here, now you gotta do something with it. Now we gotta go out there and you gotta try to make the most of your life.
Muy buenas noches tengan todos. Bienvenidos a Fox Impacto NFL Leyendas. Soy Ricardo García, considerado por muchos el mejor jugador de todos los tiempos. A lo largo de sus 23 años de carrera, Tom Brady logró levantar 7 veces el trofeo Lombardi y estableció marcas de la liga, solo por mencionar algunas: líder de pases completos en la historia de la NFL, más yardas por pases, pases de touchdowns y victorias para cualquier quarterback. Definitivamente ha sido un privilegio haber tenido la oportunidad de sentarnos y conversar con este 5 veces jugador más valioso del Super Bowl. Y dentro de este primer bloque de la charla, vamos a conocer cómo el éxito que Tom Brady alcanzó se tradujo en el crecimiento de una nación de aficionados. También muy importante en cómo compartió sus logros con sus familiares y otras partes que no podemos dejar de mencionar. Por un lado, quienes influyeron y cómo lo hicieron a lo largo de su carrera, sin dejar a un lado lo que también muchos le interesa, el saber más de Tom Brady, cómo aprendió dentro del terreno de juego. Disfruten esta primera parte de una charla en exclusiva para Fox Sports con el gran Tom Brady.
So Tom, you're back in Mexico City. So nice to have you over here. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. You have a connection with this country. You may or may not know it. And it's not because of a stolen jersey or the fact that you played at Azteca Stadium a few years ago.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say this. You were the main reason for the growth of a fan base.
Wow.
Patriot Nation over here climbed up the way up to top 5 of most followed teams in the NFL.
Amazing.
So I want to ask you, what do you think is the main reason why people fall in love with success of an athlete? In your case?
Well, I think everyone likes to believe in the journey of the team and the journey of the athletes. And I think when you get really attached to, a lot of people work hard all week, Monday through Friday in their jobs, and they want to disconnect on the weekend. And football and sports really in my life have been that escape for my family members, for my friends, for so many of us in our communities, that we get to go enjoy something on the weekend. We sit in front of our TVs, we watch the games, we celebrate with our family and friends, and we invest our time and our energy into our teams. So I think that sports brings so many people together, and I was very fortunate to be a part of some amazing teams that, we changed parts of our community in Boston, but all of greater New England, as well as I think parts of the United States. They really saw us as a championship level dynasty, that we sustained a level of success over a period of time. And I'm glad that filtered down here into Mexico. I love being able to tell a lot of great sports stories and try to correlate them to a lot of other aspects of life that we all go through. So much of sports is about challenging yourself and overcoming adversity. It's very rare that you go undefeated in a season. It's very difficult to go undefeated in life. We all face difficult moments, and we need to figure out how to overcome those. With me, it's always been through a great group of teammates, and I think ultimately that's what life's about. It's about having great relationships with people and having incredible memories and experiences that you really subject yourself to.
We've seen you on the field share all those achievements with your family, but talk about what it has meant to you to have your parents, Tom and Galen, be there with you. I mean, I've been on the field and I've seen you with them, and now your children. Talk about that part, how important it is for Tom Brady to share those achievements with the ones he loves.
It's the most important thing in my life is having the people like my family with me. And they've been with me since I was a little kid, and I had these crazy dreams to be a professional sports star. And, you know, there was a lot of long odds to become that, but I think my family was always right there in my corner. And I had a dad that was so supportive of me along the way. He would drive me I loved baseball growing up. He would take me to the batting cage at 8 o'clock at night after, maybe even before I did my homework, because I wasn't the best student in the world, but what I did was I loved sports, and he wanted to support those dreams. So he would, you know, he worked long hours, and he'd get up in the morning and go to work, and he'd come home, and he'd always have time for me to really show me the way and to mentor me. When I really fell in love with football, he took me to different camps across the state of California to improve my skills and to see what the other guys were like too. So much of what I've been fortunate to accomplish is really based on the amount of people that supported me. And my mom and dad, they were there every step of the way. My sisters were there every step of the way. My family, my greater family, obviously my children have been so amazing, and I love being there with them so that they can share in those experiences too. And now the best part is, now I had my son, he played football a week ago, he scored a touchdown, I thought I lost my mind. I was screaming in the camera, everyone's like, are you gonna die, what's wrong with you? But I think it was even more fun for me watching from the other side. Now I got to experience a little bit about, you know, what it's like on the other side too, with my oldest son, Jack, my middle son, Benny, and then my daughter loves to, you know, she's a little competitive too. So we all have that crazy parent in us, and I get to be that crazy parent from time to time too. What's up, Joseph?
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. Many people say you're their hero, but who's your hero?
Who's my hero?
All right.
That's a great question. Well, I think my dad is my hero because he's someone that I look up to every day. And my dad.
You're talking about success, you're talking about these amazing wins that you had in life, but also about adversity. So what is the biggest lesson that you've learned about not only winning the Super Bowls, but losing them?
So, and obviously I think for all of us, you know, whenever you lose something in life, you know, it brings a lot more perspective to when things do go right. Situations that, you know, maybe we relate to in sports. Man, I really wish we'd have won that game. Well, in relation to other aspects of life, people lose their jobs, or people lose their families, or you know, you lose loved ones, or you know, you go through conflict in the world, and it puts everything in my mind back into perspective. That, you know, winning is really important. I think ultimately giving our best is the most important, regardless of the outcome. I feel like I tell that to my kids a lot. Did you win or lose? I don't really care. Did you do your best? If you did your best, you could live with it. And so many of those lessons I learned from sports, that you can't control the outcome of everything. All you can do is put your very best into it. And if you put your best into it, you should be rewarded with that sense of accomplishment that you've had, regardless of whether you win or lose. Now, everybody wants to win, but it shouldn't always go right for you to win. It's got to go right for the other people too, because they put a lot into it as well. So sports, you know, there's such a fair dynamic to the aspect of sports. Team against team, city against city. In the World Cup, it's, you know, country against country, but we love seeing a level playing field, and we love cheering for our teams, and then we love supporting them win or lose. And I think the real diehard fans, you know, they're with you win or lose, and I've had a lot of those fans over the years.
Atlanta 28, New England 3.
Gotta play harder. Gotta play tougher, harder, tougher, everything. Everything we got.
We got Tom Brady. He's the greatest of all time, bro. Hands down, bro. Like, hands down.
Toss sweep right for James White. Tucks it under the right arm. Cuts it upfield. Driving forward. Diving to the goal line. A touchdown. And a title for the Patriots.
I can't believe it.
We would have been. I don't know. They got to review it. They have completed the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history. There's never been another better, and he's got the 5 titles. And he's the only quarterback with 5 titles to his name.
When you're so successful, people think that you're your own made man. You know, He walked his path and he was a pioneer, but they forget that there are a lot of people that influence in your life. And I want to throw a few names out there. One of them, once I got the opportunity to talk to Michael Phelps, he said the name Greg Harden.
Yeah.
What has Greg meant to you, and why it is so important for an athlete to be, very focused also on the mind?
Yeah, Greg Harden was a sports psychologist at the University of Michigan. I was very fortunate to meet him at the time that I did. He came into my life at a very impactful time where I was really looking for some answers to a lot of the things that were in my mind about competition and overcoming adversity. I went to a very competitive college. I didn't really feel like I was getting the best opportunities to succeed. And he came in there and he sat me down and we were sitting this close and he said, would you quit worrying about all the things that are out of your control? Focus on what's in your control, which is your attitude and your performance and your enthusiasm. And when you get out there with your teammates, give it everything you got. And rather than go, oh, well, he got 3, Tom, you got 3 reps and the other guy got 20. Who gives a crap who got what? You do the best with what you got. And if you do that, they'll give you more. And sure enough, that's what happened. I went out there and it's just a shift in your mind that you can look at yourself and say, poor me, woe is me, how difficult this is for me, when do I get my chance? Or you can go out there and make your chance. And you can display to everybody why you're deserving of the chance. And sure enough, they're gonna give you a chance. Everybody wants people to succeed. I don't care if you're in business, I don't care if you're in sports, everybody wants to see someone bring value to a team or an organization. So when people believe that you're starting to do that, well, they're gonna give you a chance. That's what they wanna see, that success too. So it was a great personal lesson. I've tried to continue to apply that as I move forward. And it's a big lesson I teach all the young kids. Take advantage of the opportunity. I don't know when you're gonna get it, but if you finally wait to get your chance and you're not ready and you screw it up, you may never get it again. But if you're fully prepared for that moment and that opportunity, whenever it comes, because it will come, you're gonna take advantage of that.
Vamos a hacer una pausa, pero en breve regresamos con esta charla en exclusiva con el gran Tom Brady a través de la señal de Fox Sports, el 3 veces ganador del premio a jugador más valioso de la liga y la conversación que sostuvimos con otros temas muy importantes que tienen que ver con su futuro dentro de los medios de comunicación.
En la vida hay personas que nos marcan y que sacan lo mejor de nosotros. Justo eso es lo que Tom Brady y Bill Belichick son en la vida del otro. Belichick y Brady desarrollaron una excelente relación desde el momento en el que Tom fue seleccionado. Bill realmente vio algo en él que no muchas otras personas habían notado. A lo largo de más de 20 años compartieron el amor por el deporte. Belichick encontró a alguien a quien enseñarle y sobre todo compartir ese coraje por competir y ser el mejor. El éxito de esa dinastía fue gracias a ambos, a ese engranaje perfecto que tuvieron el uno con el otro. El pasado profesional de Brady fue junto al entrenador más grande de todos los tiempos, pero ahora le corresponde comenzar con un nuevo reto. Vamos a escuchar en voz del 15 veces seleccionado del Pro Bowl cómo su vida en el campo lo marcó y lo moldeó para tener opiniones fuertes sobre la NFL en la actualidad. What do you think Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft saw in you to keep you as a 4th quarterback when there was just no space for you maybe there? And especially, what did you saw on Belichick and what you continue to see in him? What's the biggest lesson that he could actually teach you?
He was another guy that came into my life. Coach Belichick is, I believe the greatest coach that ever has coached in the NFL. He's prepares the players so well, very focused, very hardworking, very disciplined. He has great processes. He's a great teacher. And every time you go on the field, you feel like you're prepared to win, and he gives you the best opportunity to win. So I learned a lot from him. So much of the young players in today's football, you get drafted as a 21-year-old or a 22-year-old. You come to a team, everyone goes, well, how's that player gonna be? My answer is, well, it depends who's around them. It depends who helps develop them, what players are there, what coaches are there. You just can't throw a 21 or 22-year-old into a situation and expect him to figure it out. You have to nurture those individuals. You have to develop them. Like every business, we have to nurture the assets that come in. These are people. These are humans. We got to teach them the right way. You got to develop processes for them to succeed. And I think that's why a lot of teams don't succeed. They don't have those processes. They leave it up to the individual to come in and figure it out. And I believe that if you if you bring them into a system like I was very fortunate to come into, where I had to show up, yes, I had to work hard. Yes, I had to take the information and try to apply it, but at least the systems and processes were there for me to go in there and improve.
At the combine, when you watch Tom, you saw this tall, gangly-looking kid, looked like having ever seen a weight room, ran a 5.2 something, one of the slowest quarterbacks in the combine. Does he wow you throwing the ball? Mm-mm. There were some other guys that could shoot it, and he had just an okay arm.
Tom, we see you today as a life coach. Is a football coach in the future for Tom Brady? we see you on the
coaching,
field?
No. I would lose my mind as a coach because I would be pulling my hair out, you know. Probably to see it from a different perspective, like broadcasting is great for me because I can really analyze both sides of the ball, see who did something good, see who did something not so good. I can, you know, be maybe a little critical of a choice that someone made or be very exemplary of something positive that someone did. So I think, you know, it's coaching is you're in the fight again. I don't really want to be in the fight again. I did that for 32 years competitively. That was enough football. Now I want to you know, sit back a little bit and not have to have that level of intensity on Sunday.
Still, you have been really involved with the NFL. Still, you have been open about your opinion. So seeing the NFL, how it's played today, how do you see it in 10 or 20 years? How's it changing?
I think it has to be, there need to be a lot of people who care about the game that come together to try to make it the best possible product for the fans. And I think there's been a lot of agendas over the years, in my opinion, seeing from when I started in 2000 to now about different types of things. I'd probably rather speak about those things behind closed doors, but I don't see a certain level of play that I would love to see. I would love to see better coaches. I would love to see better quarterback play, better defensive strategy, or else it gets bogged down. It's more of the same. I think there's always been a lot of great innovation. People have invested their life, and I think even in the era of social media, there's so much distraction for player, coaches. There's so much distraction for a lot of people not to be as focused on their job as possible. And I think that I love the sport. I want to see it continue to succeed and thrive in those areas. And if I can add my opinion and insight into different things, I would love to be able to do that.
Brady se ha caracterizado por su humildad y sencillez sin importar el éxito. Eso lo ha hecho aún más respetado. La admiración de todos no solamente se la ganó en el terreno de juego, sino fuera de él, demostrando ese respeto a todos aquellos a quien lo conocen. Vamos a un corte, pero volvemos con más de Tom Brady y su futuro dentro de la televisión. Esto es Fox Impacto, NFL, Leyendas.
Estamos de regreso en Fox Impacto NFL Leyendas, una conversación con el múltiple campeón de la NFL, Tom Brady. La liga calcula que el número de seguidores que tiene a nivel mundial supera los 400 millones de aficionados. Tan solo el Super Bowl se transmite en un poco más de 130 países anualmente. Pero ¿qué opina Tom Brady acerca de la globalización, la internacionalización de la NFL, que ya ha puesto pie en México desde hace varios años y ha prometido regresar al Estadio Azteca en un futuro próximo? Así como de aquellos consejos que él, como leyenda de esta liga, le brinda a los jóvenes y niños que sueñan con algún día convertirse en lo que él ha alcanzado a lo largo de su carrera como quarterback de fútbol americano.
And you're starting a different period of your time. Like, you're already tired. You're starting to share this life experience that you've had, this history and the story that you have inspired so much and so many of us. But there's also something else coming. And in a recent interview, you said that you were excited because you were looking at football from different eyes, like, right, feeling it as we all do feel it every Sunday. Yeah. So are you excited about just being a TV host, a sports anchor, and also what else is there for your future?
Yeah, certainly very excited to challenge myself and to join the Fox Sports family and to really anchor what I believe is the greatest sport in the world. And I get to do it on a weekly basis. I get to be involved with a new group of teammates, but I still get to go out there and be around a lot of the athletes that, I'd love to be able to give them advice from time to time and things that they're looking for. Coaches, I love seeing people make the most of their opportunities. So I think for me, there's obviously being a little bit excited, nervous, anxious about starting a new career. You guys are way more advanced than me in that area, so I've got lots of notes from a lot of people I've already spoken to about it. I've got a lot of training and really looking forward to getting out there and hopefully bringing some entertainment to the fans. There's a sense of enjoyment, but also teach them a little bit about the way that I saw the game too, because I had a very unique perspective on it, and I like to share some of those stories as well.
Y así arranca el Super Bowl a través de Fox Sports. Brady en movimiento, Brady va a ir al aire, tiene tiempo. Brady, ahora va a la zona de anotación. Gronkowski touchdown. Una vez más la combinación de Brady y Gronkowski fructifica en un Super Bowl.
Saliendo desde esa posición de ala cerrada, el cruce, el mesh de los receptores en esas trayectorias cortas que confunden al perímetro defensivo de Kansas City.
Oportunidad, son 6 por avanzar desde la yarda 10, 1:40 contando. Y Mahomes, por enésima ocasión en movimiento, mete el balazo y va a ser interceptado. Solo 3 goles de campo permite Tampa Bay. Vaya actuación de esta defensa.
The NFL has done a great effort, Tom, to internalize the game. Games being played in Europe. You played here in Mexico City.
Yeah.
And there's been talk about playing a Super Bowl in London.
Wow.
Where do you see the game going as a product internationally in maybe 10 to 20 years? Do you think there's going to be a franchise somewhere outside the U.S.?
I think those things remain to be seen. Those franchises cost a lot of money, and they've got to figure out competitive advantages and so forth. But there's no doubt that the game is very global now. It's played in many different countries now around the world. Not quite like soccer. Soccer is an amazing sport. I love it. And, it's relatively easy to, throw a ball out there and say, all right, kids, play. That's what I did a lot of as a kid, too. Organizing a football game is a little bit different. So I think it definitely, there's so much that football brings out of us. It's a great game. It's very technical. There's a lot of strategy involved, but there's no doubt that it's continuing to grow and expand its presence around the world. And I think it really does that through the league itself, but ultimately the players have to bear that burden themselves and bring it out there and give all these fans around the world something to really enjoy.
You are inspiration not only to the kids in the United States, but also all over the world. And you're speaking about the way the players also have to be involved in the international part of the NFL. What would you say to these kids here in Mexico and international to do or to follow, because they don't have like a straight path for the NFL as the kids in the US do, but they have the same dreams of becoming a Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Maybe just less lesson of it. Exactly.
No, amazing.
But
there is going to be the next Tom Brady and the next everyone, for sure.
What do you think they have to do?
I think they have to be willing to commit whatever it takes to make themselves successful. And if it doesn't work in sports, it's going to be successful in other aspects of life. So if you have a dream of playing, I would never discourage anyone from dreaming as big as they possibly can. I was a long shot too. There's a lot of kids here that are long shots. We're all long shots. It's hard to be birthed, for God's sakes. You gotta beat out a lot of things to get here. So you made it here, now you gotta do something with it. Now we gotta go out there and you gotta try to make the most of your life. And everyone's dealt different circumstances in life. In America, there may be more opportunity to play football. Hopefully there's opportunity here for children to play football and be a part of their community. I don't know how many flag football games they may have, or kids organize some games around the country, but hopefully with the growth of the game, we can continue to build those things, because it should be a sport that we all enjoy. Everyone should enjoy different cultures. So there's lots of different sports from a lot of different cultures around the world that they all have value, and they can all teach us something about ourselves.
Tom, once again, it's been a pleasure to see you again.
Thank you. Great to see you.
We wish you all the best in your future career as a TV commentator.
Thank you.
And appreciate once again that you took the time to visit Mexico, and we hope to see you back again over here soon.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Although I'm not going to get over that first story you told me about a little where that was off camera, so we can leave that for another day.
Thank you so much. Tom Brady con nosotros en esta edición muy especial de EXMA, Heroes and Doers. You are a hero and a doer.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Esperamos hayan disfrutado de esta conversación que sostuvimos con un futuro miembro del Salón de la Fama del fútbol americano profesional, en su visita realizada a la Ciudad de México para ser parte de una conferencia de héroes y hacedores que nos brindó Expa. Una charla en exclusiva con un hombre que tiene mucho de qué hablar de fútbol americano y que próximamente emprenderá una carrera en los medios de comunicación, compartiendo su conocimiento, sus vivencias, sus historias en el emparrillado. Esta ha sido una edición muy especial de Fox Impacto NFL, Leyendas con el incomparable Tom Brady. Soy Ricardo García, en nombre de Daniela Limón y de todo el equipo bajo la producción de Gonzalo Torres, les decimos gracias, cuídense mucho y hasta la próxima.